are the bulwark of the North. Behold the unyielding motherland. Through the teachings of the Great Orthodoxy, this world's end is kept at the bay. Our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, stand united against the onslaught of chaos. With the strength of Urson, the mighty bear god, and the power of winter itself. Tear them down! Join us! Pledge yourself to the Ice Court! Defend the legacy of Kislev!
Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another Total War Warhammer 3 trailer breakdown. Two trailers this close together, something crazy is happening. So in this trailer we saw a bunch of the Kislev units. This was of course the Flavor of Kislev trailer that really just showed off what they're all about, in particular in battle. There's also a couple of images that CA shared with us that I'd like to break down for you because there is quite a lot of interesting stuff in it. Also, bear in mind that I'm making this video before CA puts out its official statements, so if I look like an idiot because I'm saying, oh, what's this? And CA's already told you what it is, then I apologise. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the trailer. So it opens on the Kislev lines marching forwards. It looks like we have some Tsar with axes and shields, and then also some with some war club looking things in the back. We of course also see the Elemental Bear lurking in the back, and we can just about see some cav units, which I think are the Griffin Legion since they do have the two wings. We then see what looks to be a Kislev settlement seen from far away, a massive bear statue on the cliff just behind looking down onto the town. We also see we have this structure in the foreground, and of course the main attraction is the settlement itself with some shorter walls and most importantly multiple avenues to attack it from. 360-degree settlements, baby. It's looking more and more likely every single gameplay trailer we get. Also, if this is a battle map, then it has to be pretty huge to fit a structure on it that's this far away and that is that big. Also, I'm going to cover what she says all at the end all at once because it just makes it easy that way. We then see a soldier warming up and firing a pistol. This looks to be another variety of Tsarguard, possibly another hybrid weapons, since that seems to be quite a popular category for Kislev armies. Next up we have a close-up of the Streltsy, and to anyone saying this game doesn't look good, just look at this shot and tell me it isn't detailed. We then see Spearcussars firing off some arrows that are yet to be unseen enemy, and then a big old wide shot showing off the two armies about to clash. All the missile units are loosing volleys from the Kislev side and bracing for the coming impact. We can't really get a good idea of the map size here since there are mountains to the left and the camera doesn't know what's to the right, but behind the approaching enemy, we can see it seems to extend for quite a ways. We now see that the Warriors of Chaos are blocking as many missiles as they can with their shields, but as we all know, there comes a point when there are just too many missiles and it's impossible to remain untouched. Get close with this guy holding a staff on what looks to be a burning club. Could be another one of our Kislev lords or just a type of mage. Can't really tell right now. We also get a much tighter shot of that Ice Tiger charging forwards, radiating that beautiful ice magic glow. Of course, we do also get to see a bear cav backing it up, but they aren't doing too much noteworthy just yet. We even get to see it tear through a couple of Warriors of Chaos. Not sure if these animations will be visible in the full game, but cool to see them here all the same. Also, a minor thing that we see in this shot is right at the back we see what looks to be a wall, which could mean that this whole battle is taking place outside of a settlement, in which case that is one chunky map. We then see an Ice Witch battling a single Bloodletter, which is likely a Blood Reaper since they are the hero version and are single entity units. She does these cool flying around in the sky attacks that remind me a lot of those martial arts movies when they're floating around on wires. Looks pretty neat. We cut back to the main armies clashing, and we see that one of those War Club Tsarguard is completely ruining the day of this Chaos Warrior. Although looking at his armor, it could be a Chaos Champion since it is wearing some darker armor with furs, but it's a bit blurry so I can't really make it out. Then what I think is the best shot of the trailer, parry this you fucking casual from the Streltsy to this Warrior of Chaos, showing off that gunpowder in close combat, of course followed by the entire line firing in unison, which was undoubtedly causing a lot of pain downrange. We then see a lone Warbear rider taking on a couple of warriors before holding his ground and waiting to be backed up. Now I don't think this is a warrior, I think this is just cool to look cinematics since he looks identical to the other riders. Also the warriors that he hits are less armoured, so these could be the less decorated warriors of Khorne, possibly some sort of marauders like we have in Chaos now. Then we see some units that we have definitely not seen before. They look like the Little Grom, but instead of hauling a cannon, they are hauling a carriage full of gunners. This is looking like the war wagon from the Empire but with bears, so here's hoping it's a little bit better than that. The final closing shot of the elemental bear using its breath attack, and having played, I can tell you it really is that effective. Now onto what was said. First of all, she said, "We are the bulwark of the north. Behold the unyielding motherland." This is basically echoing what the other dude was saying in the last trailer about how Kislev is the wall between chaos and everybody else, and it is rock solid most of the time. Through the teachings of the Great Orthodoxy, the world's end is kept at bay. Basically, through their way of life, all life is kept safe. A little bit full of themselves, but to be fair, they do earn it. Our mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters stand united against the onslaught of chaos. This is the second familial connection in the two trailers, so there has to be some significance to it. Yes, I get that she's also saying that everyone in Kislev fights, but it's too much of a coincidence to mean anything, so if you know of any familial connections at all, then do be sure to leave them down in the comments. With the strength of Ursun, the mighty bear god, and the power of winter itself, tear them down, join us, pledge your allegiance to the ice, I believe she says god, but feel free to correct me, defend the legacy of Kislev. Obviously, Ursun is the bear god that the entire Kislev civilization is founded on and around. The power of winter is obviously the law of ice magic, usable not only by Catherine, but by the other ice witches that we see here. In this final set of sentences, she's basically asking the player to join the fight with Kislev, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got these sorts of trailers for all the other factions, kind of a sign up to fight today campaign. Now, as I mentioned, we also have some images that we're allowed to show you, so I'll quickly run through these and show you what I found. Bear in mind, I'm looking at these and the trailer and know nothing else that CA is going to put out, so if I sound like a dumbass, then that's probably why. First up, we have Catherine, the Ice Tiger, and another Ice Witch, looking like they're about to strike. Obviously, a lot of ice magic at play in this faction, if you haven't gathered already. We can also see some Ice Guard on the cliff in the background, which is pretty exciting from a map design perspective, as placing units on a cliff to fire into a battlefield isn't a very possible thing to do in most of Warhammer 2's units and maps, so seeing it here is a very promising sign of better and larger map design to come. We have our flaming clubman from earlier in the woods being approached by Bloodletters and Warriors of Khorne, with some Kossars and Horse Archers backing him up. Again, I don't know who this dude is, but he has to have some significance if he's shown up twice. Could be a lord, could be a hero. Let me know any ideas you have down below. Nothing particularly new in this image, but, you know, a badass shot of the armies clashing. We can even see the Bloodthirster way there in the background, fighting against the elemental bear. Now this one is exciting because this looks like our first look at the campaign map. We can see little buildings sprinkled across the ground, but nothing that looks too major. This could either just be some minor settlements, or it could be the settlement style of Kislev, since it isn't too large and in charge, and is instead these smaller villages. All in all, this is looking beautiful, like 10 out of 10, would hang this above a fireplace if I had one. Now this looks more like a battle map just from how detailed the building in the foreground is. If it is, then it looks like it'd be pretty huge, since if we use the mountains as boundaries, you could get to the opposite end of the windmill and easily fit full lines of units to either side of it. Looking pretty large, boys, so come on, larger maps in Warhammer 3, baby, we really need it. Not only do they look large, but they also look more realistic. Forests look like they are real. They are evenly spaced around, the trees aren't just placed in random locations, the hills look like they could form in real life, and even the ruins just add so much to making it feel alive. Next up, what I would guess to be another battle map, looks more narrow than the last one, but also the cliffs to the left could also be part of a map, which would make it about line up in size. We of course have the beautiful bridge in the back, which is just begging to be used as a choke point. Not much to say here other than pretty epic looking map design. Another look at the narrow battle map, but this one is under much sunnier lighting, which makes those colours look great and absolutely pop. Possibly a more narrow mountain pass part of the battle map, but again, I can't tell because what's out of frame could be a lot wider on the other side of those cliffs. Next up, a close-up of that bridge in the sunnier lighting. Still looks like a great place to hold the line and have the enemy charging up the hill at you. The hillside to the left also looks pretty cool to defend from, aside from the random tree placement. Now for some actual screen grabs from inside the battle, and there is a lot on screen, so stay with me. In the top right, possibly the most exciting part, we have the minimap. And using that map and the units on screen, we can make some fairly rough guesses on battle map size. The enemy has their entire army spread and we can see all of it. The map has enough room for at least twice or maybe 3 times that if you place them quite tightly. That is absolutely a confirmation for much larger battle maps, since if you put that size into a square, it's pretty dang large. We also see units that we haven't seen yet. Those look like Tsar Guard with great swords if I had to guess, and then Ice Guard with dual weapons with the 2 swords instead of the glaives. And then, of course, the bear-driven war wagons that we met earlier. Unfortunately, can't really see much on the Khorne side since I don't have the unit cards at the bottom, and they are quite far away. Now, our final screenshot is the same battle with the same army, this time posted up by some cliffs, showing off the vertical advantage you can get over your enemy. Not much else to comment on here, other than why those horse archers are charging the Bloodletters. That is a confusing move. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this trailer slash screenshot slash general breakdown of the content that is coming out today. All this Warhammer 3 news is absolutely incredible, and I hope it keeps coming, but oh boy, is it ever bad time to start a new job and have more work than I ever have. Oh well. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video at any point, then please do consider leaving it a like, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm of course covering everything I can Warhammer 3. The guides will be coming out as soon as the game launches, so definitely subscribe if you want to see those. I'd like to thank all supporters of the channel, in particular Nifty Norm, Kobe Said So. You guys absolutely crazy, supporting me at that Unclean Ones tier, and I can never thank you enough. One more time, thank you to every single one of you for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.